Hey everybody, today I'm going to review the AR160, the Naval Strike DLC weapon that you may have seen in some of your recent games. The AR-60 is Assault Class's long-range masterpiece. This thing could possibly be better than the L85A2. It's that good at range. Unlocking the AR-160 is pretty easy. All you need is 3 assault rifle ribbons and 20 headshots. It doesn't have to be in a single round, it could be in any round. It's not that hard to do. Eventually you're going to get it. Although you probably don't want to be stupid like me and use something like the F2000 to get there. That's not a great one to go for headshots, but like I said, you will get there eventually. After you unlock it, you're going to notice something. Iron sights aren't very good, are they? Well, it's not a big deal because like every other weapon, you're going to unlock a red dot very, very quickly. But that's not to say you can't do well with the iron sights. I did a few games with them and I actually did pretty well before I switched over. But this is a long range weapon. You don't really want to use anything other than a red dot on this weapon. I guess you could try an ACOG. I'm not a big fan of them, but the iron sights aren't suited towards longer ranges that well. And if you're wondering why this is a long-range rifle, well, its fire rate's fairly low. It's 700 rounds per minute. That's not very suited towards very close range engagements. But at the same time, it's not so low that you're gonna really get yourself killed if you have to, unless you are facing that guy with the FAMAS or AEK. Then you're definitely gonna get wrecked. But with that lower fire rate and its recoil being very vertical, if you can learn to control that upwards motion, it's very, very good at range. You just basically pull down slightly and the recoil is non-existent with it. The recoil has been lifted straight from the Scar H, but it doesn't happen to do the same damage as the Scar H. It does a very standard 25 max and 18 minimum, which gives it a time to kill of 261, which isn't exactly AEK or FAMAS territory. Nothing too surprising about the magazine capacity. It's 30 plus 1 in the chamber, but the reload's very good. It's only 2 seconds if there's at least 1 left in the chamber, and 3.15 if you're totally empty. You may have noticed the reload animation when you're totally empty is bugged. You don't show the animation, but you do hear it. Partial reload is working correctly. There's a few other bugs with this as well. When doing your loadout, you'll notice the grip is floating ahead of the gun, and under barrel attachments like a grenade launcher are screwed up. They're totally glitched. The game seems to not be quite ready for this Naval Strike DLC they partially included in it, but I'm sure that'll eventually be fixed with another patch. Now that statistical jargon's all out of the way, what do I think about the weapon? Is this thing going to replace the CZ805 and the L85A2 for me? Which both weapons are very good at range and I actually really like them. It's too early to tell. This game is a little bugged with this weapon and I don't know if some of it's going to change or not. If it does, I will put it down in like an annotation down below. And with the L85A2's recent nerf and fire rate down to 750, it makes it very similar to this one in theory, but at the same time, I really don't know yet. And this thing's very, very solid at long range as it sits. And that's great when I don't want to be some recon or somebody running around the DMR that's just buzzing people's foreheads. And the way it works with its very vertical recoil, I get more headshots with this thing than I do with any DMR sniper rifle. It's just pulls straight up and it wants to go right into the dome. Oh, and I don't want to forget, this thing is hipfire. It's great, especially for a weapon that you typically use at long range. Strap a laser on this thing and you're extremely stinking accurate with the gun. And with the lower firing rate weapon, not having to pull up for that brief second and firing immediately with your hipfire, you can actually win some fights that you normally wouldn't. At close range, you typically are only going to win by being sneaky or being barely lucky or getting that headshot off. And trust me, I'm really waiting to get that suppressor to see how it works with this gun. I don't know if it's going to drop the velocity too much at that range, or if it's just going to be amazing to be able to sneak around and pop them. If you're wondering about my current setup, it's kind of limited because most of it's not able to be used yet. But I am using the reflex sight, laser sight, and I'm using the ergo grip for those hipfire situations I'm talking about. I am, however, probably going to switch to the stubby grip to see if that automatic fire penalty being reduced by 15% helps quite a bit. The ergo grip's great for hip firing, but I don't know if that's the best for this gun. It's already pretty good at its hip fire without it. And the angle grip, I don't think the angle grip's going to do much. It reduces your first shot recoil by 33%, but this gun has none. So I don't think it's really going to be warranted. And like I was saying, I want to try a suppressor out on this thing because I love to play sneaky with a weapon like this. And I also, of course, the Coyote or Cobra. I want that. If you enjoyed my video, I would love a like and please subscribe. I have many other videos, including the CZ3A1 review and a Dow 12 review. Thanks, everyone.